what's up guys? It's been over a week since I last recorded one of these, and I really wanted to do it like weekly, but my motivation mainly has been down recently because obviously the weather sucks so bad. It's either it's pissing down with rain or it's goddamn so cold it's unbearable to be outside. But I did skate. I skated yesterday, which was pretty fun. I spent actually ages just going back and forth on a mini ramp, just doing stalls. I was just doing like a soul stall, going up the other side and doing switch soul, then going back doing soul, switch soul, soul, switch soul. Then I was just going through all the tricks, pretty much all the stalls, and just doing them normal and switch. I've been trying to get into the mindset of there is no switch tricks and not really calling, like, I got into the position where I don't like calling them switch, because when I think of switch I think of the way I can't do, the way I find difficult, the way that is hard to do. I'm trying to get into the mindset where I think a switch soul is just a variation of a soul. It's like soul and top soul. Soul and switch soul is no difference from doing a soul and a top soul. It's just a different variation of a soul trick. And I've been trying to get into that mindset where it's not a switch soul, it's soul on my left foot. Like, I can soul on my right foot and then I can soul on my left foot. It's just a variation of a soul grind. It's nothing more. It's not switch. It's not difficult. It's not the way I can do. It's a variation. And I've been trying to get into that mindset. And I got into it yesterday. And I was literally going up to like what I would say is my switch foot or my opposite foot. And I was feeling comfortable. I was feeling like there was no difference from doing my normal ones to my switch ones. Both feet I was pretty much locking on every time. I was doing that trick every time. I can also obviously grind all of them as well. I think FishBrain is the one I struggle mostly on. Actually no, FishBrain's fine. What one is it? Actually there's none. I think I've pretty much... yeah, I'm pretty fine on all of them, to be honest. Why I was thinking of FishBrain is because I couldn't do switch luck. If you don't know what switch luck is, it's when you roll fakie, and say if you roll fakie, I look over my right shoulder. Switch luck is when I look over my opposite shoulder, so I'll look over my left shoulder. And obviously, if you skate, when you skate fakie, if you look over your left shoulder, it's pretty much switching shoulders and looking over the other shoulder, so you can kind of spin, or you can kind of, it's a lot easier to get into tricks that way. But that was one of the things which really screwed me up, because the problem is I look over not the wrong shoulder but the other shoulder from most people would look over. When I 180 to my left and I look over my right shoulder, which is pretty good if you want a 180 stuff. But when it comes to fakie, I either gotta look over my switch shoulder, or if I look over my right shoulder like I normally do, I have to spin switch unless I want an illusion. But it's really kind of made skating fakie, well, not skating fakie, it made pretty much spinning fakie a lot harder for me. But over the last, it's been like 2 years now since I started to learn how to look switch shoulder. It's been pretty hard, but I'm now getting into the mindset where it's not switch, it's not more difficult. I just gotta learn it like I learned everything else. Like when you first learn how to do tricks and you're like, it takes you a while to get them. It's no difference from when you're learning switch. Just look at it as just relearning. Not relearning, just learning new tricks. Just look at it like you did when you first started and you're going up to something and doing these tricks. Obviously you might get a hang of it a lot faster because you know how to balance, you know how to position your body and how to like roll away from tricks and stuff like that, so you should be able to pick up a lot easier. But don't get into the mindset where, oh, because I can do souls and I can do top souls and FishBrains and I can do 540s and I can do all of these like really good tricks, that means if I want to do a soul and I can get it literally in a day and get it perfect in a day, it takes time just like any other trick to get it. Well, for me, I like to get my tricks pretty smooth and on lock, and so I'm comfortable and I can skate into them whatever speed I want to skate into them and know I'm gonna lock that trick and roll away pretty easy. I like to skate like that. Some people I know obviously just likes to be able to do tricks, and fair enough. Some people just like to do tricks. They don't really care about what they're gonna look like or how smooth they're doing it. They just want to do the tricks, and that's fair enough. If you want to do that, that's up to you. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not a big fan of that, but if you want to do it, it's totally up to you. This is rollerblading. This isn't some kind of fixed sport with rules and crap like that. But yeah, so I've been trying to get into this mindset of, okay, this isn't Switch. And I know I keep saying this, but it isn't Switch. It's a variation of a trick. So if you guys are if you guys are pretty new, I would say try and learn both ways straight off. Like if you're learning how to do souls now, try and learn them on both feet. This will help you out a lot in the future. I'm telling you now, like when you learn how to skate fakie as well, try and learn how to skate fakie looking both ways. Like you may think now like, oh, it's no point, I just want to learn how to skate fakie. But when it comes down to it, you're going to come a time where you'll be like, I want to be able to look over our shoulder. I want to be able to do this certain trick, but this certain trick means I have to look over our shoulder. And another reason why I'm been really wanting to learn how to skate Switch is because when I first started skating many years ago, I learned how to skate on a half pipe or mini or whatever you want to call it. I learned how to do all my grinds and stalls and everything on it. And the problem is, like, there's loads of stuff I'm learning how to do in the opposite way now, and one of them is carving. I know this sounds stupid to me, like I can carve both ways. I can carve to my left on a quarter, but I find it really difficult to carve the other way. I kind of, for some reason, I kind of go straight and then I turn slightly, go straight and then I turn slightly and go down. It's not like a carve. It's more like a, I don't even know. It's not a curve or a carve. It's kind of like a hexagon, like half of it like hexagon, or so I say pentagon. That'd make more sense. Or a hexagon. It's kind of just a jaggery line. And I've been trying to learn how to skate, but yeah, I couldn't carve the other way. So when I learned how to do my grinds, I learned them all one way. So when I do a soul grind, I would do it on my right foot to do a soul. But because I couldn't go the other way, I would come up and do a top soul on my left foot. So I would do everything the same direction. So all my tops I learnt on the opposite foot for my soul grinds. I don't know if anybody else does this. There's probably a lot of people out there who do this. Yeah, so, and the problem is, like, you might think like, oh, that's somehow a good thing, or you might not, but it sucks sometimes because if there's a rail which is on the left hand side or ledge or whatever, I have to alley-oop or true spin or whatever. Pretty much I have to grind backwards because all my tricks going forward I have to do on the right side. And pretty much that's got to the point where it's just like, it sucks because my alley-oops are not that great. I'm trying to relearn them at the moment. I can do them, but I haven't got them on lock, which I don't like. I need to get them on lock. I need to get them down so I can literally just skate into them and know that I can chuck an alley-oop in my line and not think, okay, I might miss this, I might not be able to get this trick. Should I stick that in my line, or should I do something else? I want to get it, because when I do lines, I do tricks that I know I can just flow through, and just the line would just be one big flow, rather than being like, okay, I'm probably gonna fuck this up and it's gonna look horrible, then I'm gonna have to skate like a bitch just to get enough speed to like flow through the next trick and stuff. Like, I like to do tricks where I'm just like, okay, bang, 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 that's my line. It's just me. Obviously everybody skates differently, everybody wants different things from skating. It's totally cool. And yeah, so I need to get my alley-oop tricks down. But the thing is now, some of my like switch tricks, like switch soul, or should I say left foot soul. I'm gonna stop calling tricks switch and stuff. My normal soul tricks are gonna be called right foot tricks, and then I'm gonna call my switch tricks, which would be like my my switch tricks would be my left foot for normals, and my switch tricks for my top grinds are with my right foot. I know it gets a little bit confusing, but it doesn't matter, because I want to get my tricks on both feet pretty much on par. I want them both no different from the other. I don't want to be like going, oh, okay, I'm gonna do soul this way because I find it more comfortable, or I'm gonna do soul that way because it's gonna be a lot easier to get it. I want to get it in a way that pretty much it doesn't matter which foot I'm using, it doesn't matter which side I'm using, it's both going to be like the same hardness, it's both going to be on par. And that's what I pretty much aiming to get, and that's my goal for this year. But I want to get that done pretty much in the summer. In the summer I want to be pretty much, I don't want to switch foot for grinds. I just want, I can do it both ways. I can choose what foot I want to grind. I want to take away the switch grinds and just replace it with variations. But yeah, that's my goal for this year, and hopefully I'll get it down. And I'm not just keeping it at grinds. I've been learning how to switch 360, which I'm actually getting pretty good at. Like, a week ago, I could not switch 360 to save my life. Literally, I just couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't take off properly, I couldn't spin, and I couldn't land. I couldn't do any of it. Like, I would go and take off and just kind of kind of turn myself and throw my body backwards for some reason. Just go off balance. And spinning, I just barely spun. Like, getting a 180 was pretty much the most I was getting. And even when it came to landing, if I actually did throw a 360, I couldn't land at all. I would kind of do like a T-stop where you kind of drag your back foot sideways. I would just land like that all the time. But now I can actually switch 360 a little, like a fun box. It's not really long, it's about, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 foot long. It's not something crazy, but a week ago I would look at that and be like, I can't do that, no chance I can do that. But now I'm comfortable with it. I can ride up to it, throw it pretty much every time and land it, and it feels comfortable. It doesn't feel like it's a switch 360. I struggle doing it up like a jump box. I'm kind of like throwing my body into the jump box and kind of messing myself up. But I will get used to obviously riding up a launch ramp and throwing my body. Obviously I just need to work on how I'm meant to do it. But I think because it's like writing with your opposite hand. Like, I write my right hand. When I write my left hand, it just doesn't feel right because I'm so used to using my right hand. And because I've been skating obviously so many years doing stuff a certain way, when it comes to the other way, I'm just like, I can't do it that way, that's just the wrong way. I'm getting into that mindset where I'm telling myself that it's wrong, I can't do it, when I can. Like, anybody can, because it's no difference really. It's you throw yourself that way, you throw yourself out. You just slightly changing how you just flipping your body. Like if you throw your right arm a certain way, you just do that with your left arm. If you move your right leg a certain way, you just do that with your left leg. Did I say leg? Yeah, if you move your left leg a certain way, you just do it obviously with your right leg. You just opposite everything. But it's just getting into that mindset where it's just like, you can do it. You're just pretty much writing yourself off before you even try. But that's life. That's skating. That's what it happens with everything really. It's like say football, like you kick with your right leg. It's like if someone was like played football for like say 10 years and they always kicked with their right foot. Learning how to kick your left foot, then it would be a lot harder than it would have been at the beginning, because you pretty much have drilled into your head now, this is how it works. It works with my right foot. So when you use your left foot, it's just like, this doesn't feel right, this is wrong, you're not meant to be doing it this way. And it goes for a lot of things. We always kind of do stuff a certain way, and then when it comes to doing it the other way, our body and our mind's just like, no, you shouldn't be doing it this way, you're meant to be doing it this way. Because you got so familiar with it and you're so used to it, it feels weird doing it any other way. I think I've rambled too much on about Switch. I'm kind of just repeating and I want to get out of that system. So what else can I talk about, or shall I just end it here? I don't know, really. Actually, there is something else I think I could talk about. And the thing is, okay, how can I start this? Thing I want to talk about is being too, I don't know if I've covered this already, I might have, I don't think I did. Is being too nice to new rollerbladers or just starting, is that a bad thing or is it a good thing? Well, no, I don't want to put it like that actually. Does the bad outweigh the good? And that's what I'm trying to like think. Like, obviously it's gonna have bad bits and it's gonna have good bits. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Which way should you do it? Should you have this thing as a bad thing, or that thing as the bad thing, or vice versa? I know that sounds a bit confusing, but I will get to a point now. Okay, so when I first started, many years ago, well, it hasn't been many years, it's been like 7 years ago. Like back when I first started, like I wasn't really accepted into the kind of rollerblading local group. I don't know what you can really call it, but yeah, like being accepted as a rollerblader, I wasn't really accepted into the group as like a rollerblader. I think it might have been because I was also a skateboarder. Maybe that's why, or maybe some other reason. I wasn't really accepted, but that actually was a good thing in the end, because you might think like, oh, that's quite a bad thing, but the thing is, because I wasn't accepted, I kind of went, okay, then fuck you, I'm just gonna pretty much not, it's hard to put it, pretty much I had to like prove myself as a rollerblader, and that kind of made me push myself, and that kind of drove me to pushing my skating and not kind of holding back and being relaxed. It kind of made me like push my tricks, and so it came to a point where I took over most of the people who kind of, I wouldn't really say look down on me, they just weren't obviously accepting, they didn't have open arms, whatever, and I kind of overtook all of them in skating. not in like a big-headed way, like, or kind of like, oh, I'm better than them or anything. It's just, I don't know, I guess because I wasn't accepted, I had more drive. And obviously, if I was accepted, then I would be more laid back and won't think I would have to prove myself, so I wouldn't drive myself to try and prove myself. And what I'm pretty much saying is, because I'm quite accepting to new bladers, because I went through that crap, like, I'm more like, I know how it feels to be like the like new kid, the kind of person who's not accepted into the group kind of thing, so I kind of be more accepting. But I'm thinking, like, looking at a lot of people who are starting up now, I'm thinking it's a bad thing, because they don't have to drive to kind of like prove anything. They don't need to prove themselves, so they just like, okay, we're instantly accepted, we just have to turn up to the skate park and we're accepted as a rollerblader. And I know, like I've said, like, obviously you can do what you want, you can have what you want from rollerblading, but I mean, like, it's to the point where they will turn up, they put on their skates, they won't skate, they'll just stand there or sit down, they don't actually rollerblade. And is that because they accepted and they don't have to prove themselves, they don't have to skate to fit in, because they're already obviously fitted in, they're already accepted, so they don't have to try. Because when I first started skating, the first day I skated, I learned to drop in, I learned to like kind of jump in, or whatever you want to call it, where you kind of jump into the quarter, and I learned how to do spine. I pretty much learned how to drop in on every ramp in the park and do the spine and jump in. And I don't think I learned how to like lock on, but I think I learned how to lock on the second day. But yeah, I had to drive to like prove myself, go, okay, I can be a rollerblader, I can do these things. But like a lot of these new bladers, I think, because they accepted, they just not trying. They don't need to do anything to be accepted. They don't need to do anything to be a rollerblader. And I think that's the downfall of it. Like, being so accepted, being so accepting, and pretty much being so nice to them and allowing them in to like the group without like pretty much initiation or anything like that. Is that a bad thing? Is that pretty much hurting what they could do? And like, even though it sounds bad, but hate is good. Hate motivates people. As bad as it sounds, and like, people try and put other people down and try and hate on people, people turn that into their motivation. They turn it in, like, the hate into their motivator, and that helps them like just go, I can do this, I can prove these people wrong, I can be this person, even if people saying I can't, I can do this. And I've always seen, obviously people look at everything differently, but I've always seen hate as kind of like a motivator, kind of a good thing. Even though it's bad, it's kind of like, it's a rain cloud with a silver lining. But obviously everybody's gonna have a different opinion on it. I find it hard to like kind of push these kids away. That sounds really like pedo-ish, but yeah, like, I can't just be like, okay, you're not a part of like the rollerblading group, you're not being accepted. I can't do that. But even though I can't do that, I'm starting to think that it's a bad thing, because most kids, like, I know, have been skating for months. They've had a few pairs of skates, like really nice skates as well. And these ain't just like cheapy skates, these are like proper like setups. And most of them can't drop in, they can't lock on, they can't like do the spine, they can't really grind. And I'm seeing as maybe because I've been so accepting and so nice, that's pretty much hurting their skating and hurting what they could do. But I don't know, I'm just gonna go on being the way I am, and if it's hurting their skating, then my bad. But I don't know. I try and push them. I do, like, obviously people don't understand when, like, all rollerbladers are dicks to other rollerbladers to try and push them. It's just how it works. Like, people on the outside don't understand it, and like new people don't really understand it at first, but you kind of get after a while. It happens in most extreme sports, really. Like, you will be a dick, you will like call them names and trash talk them and be a dick to them to push them to do stuff that they know they can do, but they're kind of being like, nah, I don't know, and you kind of like push them to push their skating. Like, I've always had someone to do that. Like, I skate with someone and we've always kind of like trash talked each other and talked, like, pretty much called each other names and shit like that. Kind of when you call them like you're pussy, you're a little bitch, like, what the fuck you doing, like, you can do this, like, and you kind of be a dick to them to help them kind of like do the trick. And it's kind of like a motivate, like I was saying earlier, like the hate kind of motivates. But yeah, I guess outsiders will see that and they'll see it as a bad thing, but really it's a rain cloud with a silver lining. It's kind of like a storm, and then there's a rainbow at the end of the storm. That's probably the best way I can put it, pretty much. Like, everybody just sees it as this storm, this crazy thing, but what I don't understand is after that storm is past, there's a rainbow. And I know, like, some people are like, this is rollerblading, you can't say like rainbows and stuff because that's so gay and stuff like that. It's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's like, the world sees us as two things. They either see us as skateboarders, or if they actually know what rollerblading is, they just like, yeah, you're fags, you're gay for doing that stuff. And it's just, it's time to just go like, well, just stop listening to them. Rollerblades are the worst for it as well. Like, rollerblades are always like, oh, I hate people like that calling rollerblading gay, and it's like, we're doing such cool things, and then like powerblading come along and stuff like that, and it's just like, it's no difference from what we're doing, and it's like, that's so gay, how can you do that, that's making rollerblading look so bad. And it's just like, you can't make rollerblading look bad, and then it already is, because the world does not give a shit about us. And as soon as you're like, you get that into your skull, that this world either thinks we're skateboarders, or they just don't give a shit. They either thinks we're skateboarders, or they know who we are and they just think we're gay and they hate us, or they don't even know we exist. And that's it. Like, stop worrying too much about what other people think about it. Like, rollerblade for mainly you, but obviously the only opinions that matter is the people around you, the rollerbladers around you, pretty much your fellow bladers. That's the only people who opinions really matter to you, and they're the only people you should be taking opinions from. Not like rollerbladers as in all rollerbladers, because people who don't know you don't give a shit about them. Like, some rollerblader on the other side of the world, if he starts saying shit about my skater, like, I'm not gonna give a shit, to be honest, what he's saying. I'm gonna like take him just like I would take skateboarders, BMXers and scooters that don't know me and are saying shit about rollerblading. I'm just gonna see him like that. It's just like, you can say whatever the fuck you want, it does not matter to me. You in my world do not exist. You're just some letters on the internet. And that's what you need to start seeing. Like, the only people's opinions, like rollerbladers' opinions, are the people, are like the rollerbladers you know. And that's it. And I think I'm going to end it here because it's kind of ranting on. I just really wanted to stick another one of these up and kind of keep it more like once a week thing. Even though I don't want to force them, I'm not going to force them. I'm just going to be like, okay, let's just try and do one. If it doesn't work out, fuck it, I won't upload it. If it works out, I'll upload it. And just go like that. Instead of being like, oh, I don't really feel like in the mood, so I'm not going to even try. I'm just going to try. And if it doesn't work, I just won't upload it. If it works, I'll upload it. And just go for that. And do that. Because that's the only way I'm going to like improve on these. And it's the only way I'm going to get better doing this crap and talking and stuff like that, is if I kind of nudge myself. I'm not going to push myself into it. I'm kind of just going to nudge myself. Just go, okay, here's a little nudge. Get going. See what happens. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. So thanks a lot for listening. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening, I guess. And if you obviously got any opinions on the matter, or you want to say anything really, like, hey, you suck, your skating is shit, you can't do a soul and stuff like that, then just put down below in the comments or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna make some tea and eat some chocolate biscuits and play some video games. So long and goodbye.